cool, crisp winter air and a gentle flow of sunset. This should be my favourite kind of setting. It seems somehow ominous. The familiar facade of a dormitory building seems portentous, like something from my opening of a horror movie. A couple have gone to stay at my vacation home for winter. Remembering I introduced the most fitting scenario from amongst all the many horror movies I've watched. A ghost story session, a few of which was offered by Takasaki-san and then by Erika, took up more of my time than anticipated. This time of year, dust slips quickly into darkness, staying into dorms will be more comfortable, but... Putting down my bag from his neck. Left my things there and thinking I'll be continuing my research. I don't want to leave them there overnight. Ghost stories from earlier were still running from my mind. I rubbed my arms and fed enough a chill as I hurried towards the school building. But then something stops me in my tracks. Sister Basket? Spot a figure I haven't seen at all during a winter vacation, and she in turn brings to mind another name. Certainly the idea of simply asking Sister Basket outright about was she on strikes me. After all, I share a surname, why not just ask her? However, another part of my brain pipes up that would be absurd. Bringing up a topic would be one thing, but if she simply feigned ignorance and she had no idea what I was talking about, that would be the end of the matter. If I were to approach the subject on Shion Basket, it would be better to have to create a situation in which she would have no choice but to acknowledge it. Each argument has its pros and cons, and so I... In the distance, Sister Basket's figure vanishes from sight. When I know what I'm doing, I find myself following her. She passes through gardens. Rather than heading for chapel as I predicted, she heads towards the greenhouses. Where's she going? I follow her until she enters the greenhouse, but because of the distance I've kept, I lost sight of her. Doing my best to silence my footsteps, I searched inside the greenhouse, dyed red in the light of a setting sun, but... It's like she vanished into thin air. Words remind me of the Academy's 7 mysteries, the phenomenon that spirit away those who encounter them. Shit runs down my spine is also mystical with ghost stories, and just a noise makes me freeze in surprise. But sound of my own footsteps. I was half expecting Sister Basket or one of the creatures with 7 mysteries to appear. But instead, we have some lilies. This flower is an Angraecum. Spotting the flower which the Academy was named, I find myself transfixed by its petals. White flowers are peculiar shaped like a star. Suddenly occurs to me I've never actually encountered one before, despite it being the Academy's namesake. Surely it wouldn't have been fitting to study and nurture such a plant in our gardening classes. Plus, it's such an important flower to the Academy, not just for students. Voicing my thoughts aloud stimulates another idea. Perhaps the Angraecum being cared for by someone with a specific faculty, by Sister Basket. Perhaps this is what brought her to her greenhouses today. That makes sense, but in the language of flowers, Angraecum means prayer. Such a noble meaning, yet for some reason it doesn't sit right with me. God's in his heaven, all's right with the world. Robert Browning. Suddenly a phrase comes to mind. It's a verse by Robert Browning. In the impactful line, it's been repeating in many movie and novel. It is particularly famous for being the last line of Anna Green Gables, but it originally comes from a verse of Pippa Passes, by English poet Robert Browning. The last 2 lines of a poem resonate so deeply with people that they end up being referenced in all kinds of media. The reason that phrase came to me now? All's not right with the world. I finally read through all the faculty registers of the past and right up to the present day. I've gone through all of them, but there are no records of the last name Basket other than Sister Basket. I've searched for a clue to at least with Shion Basket. The realisation there's no such name on record has me quite discouraged. I was off a mark. The confirmation there's no record of them as a result of sorts. I was thinking that perhaps Sister Basket acquired a position in the Academy as a personal connection. This thought stemmed from something she once told me. She'd been brought up at the Academy. Those words led me to believe that perhaps she had been a student at the Academy herself. However, now knowing how pure she was, it occurred to me that perhaps arriving at the Academy earlier than I thought. Perhaps she spent most of her formative years here. Maybe it was her adoptive father, Shion Basquiat, who brought her to the academy. That was my original thought process. However, there's no Shion Basquiat to be found in my staff ledgers. Standing up from my chair, I gaze out the window. Of course, I don't see a scenery outside. My mind's eye is focused on me almanacs entrusted by Yatsushiro-senpai. Something doesn't feel right about the fact my name wasn't there. Still, even if Shion Basquiat is the adopted father who brought Sister Basquiat to the academy, it would be strange for him to be buried on the grounds. An esteemed teacher may be honoured with a statue of some sort, but would he really be buried on school grounds at the old chapel? Could he have died without any living relatives and written here to be laid to rest in his will? And will they even accept? No. In fact, with a case. If as a faculty member to whom the academy meant so much, we should be buried here, then surely their name would appear in the ledger, even if Shion Basquiat was a man who was a woman's school. I feel like it would be natural for a figure to linger not only with physical records, but in people's memories. The questions just weren't adding up. Shaking my head, finally focused on the snow-covered landscape outside, its cool whiteness cleansed my eyes and mind. Let's pretend like it's spring. Murmuring to myself, I ran through some of my favourite novels, thinking about who would be most suitable detective for a job. Just as I did with the incident back in spring. Fancying myself a detective, I thought hard about what a detective in my favourite books would do. The conclusion I came to was Came with crime scenes more a job for beat police than a detective. Signed to a routine to turn to the origin of it all, I bring myself back to the old chapel. I hadn't returned since that day when I found Shion Basquiat's name on a headstone. The old chapel. I inspect the area just as I did the first time, but there's no new discoveries to be found in the new building. Simply reaffirmed my belief that it was burnt down. A closer inspection reveals it to be slightly smaller than the Academy's corner chapel, but with similar brickwork. Since I don't have any special tools on hand, there's not much more I can do. Giving up my survey, ruined chapel, ahead for a gravestone. Hidden by a grove of red-berried elder trees, a variety which doesn't grow in the surrounding forests. No, not hidden, protected. His grave, as I've come to think of it. The cross-shaped headstone stands quietly beneath its mantle of snow, but same as the day I found it. Standing before his grave, I attempt to resolve my burning questions one at a time. First, why was Shion Basquiat interred at the Academy? I have a few theories, but I can't prove any of them. Can't expect to come with anything more definitive like it than I did in Iznik. Next question rises to a forefront of my mind. Why was he buried here? I suppose that Shion Basquiat was a priest who ministered here. If he should be buried by the side of his prayers, that would be understandable. I have a logic-looking detective residing within my brain quickly cross-examines the train of thought. If a deceased were a member of a faculty, it would make more sense to be buried within the Academy grounds, but his grave could be easily tended. Looking at a headstone beneath me, but beneath a cover of snow, I can see it's clean and moss-free, indicating that someone has been tending to it. Which means, lost in thought, my gaze falls to a pedestal to which the epitaph is carved. That's when I notice a pure white petal, almost indistinguishable from a pale snow. As though I were drawn forward by a sense of premonition, I stoop down and push away the snow, reading the flower placed upon the plinth. This is an Angraecum. The Academy's namesake flower. The flower silver in greenhouse when I followed Sister Basquiat. This, as I first thought, her adopted father, then it would make sense. But even when I think this, my grandfather's words come back to me. People tend to go places which they don't want to deal with, or think about far away, out of sight, out of mind. And when they are forced to let go of something important to them, they choose which is far from their own heart and mind. He declared there was no exception to these rules. What on earth had he been talking about that prompted him to say that? No, that was a distraction. I was trying to put off coming to a conclusion. I'm averting my eyes from that I don't wish to see. The two signs Yatsushiro-senpai gave me both seem to point towards one person. Sister Basket. I've been looking anywhere and everywhere but at her. As I go back, a thought had occurred to me time and time again. What if somebody asked her directly about Shion Basket? However, I get a feeling I shouldn't speak that name to her. This instinct rather than logic tells me as much. Still, I feel unmoored and stare intently at the name carved into a stone. I'll start to daydream, just like I do when working in a library. Think back on a flower I found yesterday when I went back to visit Shion Basket's grave. The Angraecum flower? The language of flowers, it means prayer. I know nothing about Shion Basket other than his name. It seems a perfectly fitting flower to place at his grave. Then, Sister Basket who placed it there. It's still only a conjecture. From the same flower in the greenhouse after she disappeared from sight, I'm sure it's her who's tending to it. There are no proof of that. Still, it's not a conclusion I arrived at by intuition, but a conjecture based on the circumstances. Asking Sister Basket directly about Shion Basket would be... This time his intuition brings me an answer. She won't tell me anything. Telling me about Shion Basket would mean revealing her secrets. Are you not feeling well, Suoh-san? A sudden sensation in my hand on my shoulder brings me back to my senses as I look at my Amitié partner's concerned face. Is something the matter? I said your name a few times, but you didn't answer, so I thought maybe you were unwell. Are you okay? I'm fine, it's just zoning out since there weren't many visitors to the library. I see. I glanced out of the room, deserted library, but I'm still regarding me suspicion. I can't let her get suspicious of anything. True, it's empty. What's your staff from work here during vacation? I'm not doing any referencing, but people are allowed to check books out. During vacations, we ask people to place their card in this box on the desk. Write down the books they're buying in this notebook. Then why do you need to be here? So there might be some students who forget to return the books. So a notebook on a card to the side. I compare the cards with withdrawal dates recorded in the notebook, and in the event someone is overdrawn, I issue a reminder. Well, Rika voices understanding. She doesn't look entirely satisfied with my explanation. She looks between me and the box on the desk. While searching my fate, sort of sign, she questions me. Say, I feel like there's something bothering you. Like what? I don't know, but I think you're hiding something from me, important from me. And if you are, I'd like you to talk to me about it. And that's the last thing she can do, isn't it? I think for a split second, but then... Oh no, nothing's bothering me. Really? Really, I'm just distracted, but... Oh, maybe it's because I'm hungry. Force a smile to my face, but attention upon ease with Rika's hands. Well, if you say so. I came here to invite you to lunch anyway, but how about you take a break and we go eat? With a cheerful smile, she takes my hand in hers. Her hand is warm, but even as I sense her kindness with a gentle touch, I'm thinking back to the chillness I felt that day. That night, despite sweating in my arms, warm air under my raincoat, I was frozen solid at the core. I have to return to that night. I hold very strongly to that belief, even as I smile to my Amitié partner, my mind is back in that midsummer night. The very best way to find out if you can trust someone is to trust them. As the cold wind chills my face, the snow crunches beneath my feet, I think of Hemingway's words. I was arrogant. Came to the doors of the academy seeking friendship, yet here I am deceiving the very friends I found. The best friends a girl could ask for, friends who care for me and would do anything for me. I'm thinking that of which I hate. I trod along the slowly moonlit path, my mind caught in a turmoil of contradictions. Conflicting emotions burn with me like I make way forward to a destination. Searching for clues that might lead to my missing Amitié, I become a spectre. In my classroom, my sister Basket once claimed she had been attacked by a hookman. A lie. At the time, I carefully examined the room for clues. However, I was unable to unearth any new discoveries. Back then, I went over a room with a fine-tooth comb. But now, armed with a key given to me by Yatsushiro-senpai, I think I might be able to find something new by approaching it from a different angle. There's nothing here, though. Nothing here with me at the end of the episode. Bye-bye.
「白爪草で作った看板」